Hey YouTube, this is Son of Prepper 1. Well, I was filming right there. I usually put the camera inside the package box and I stand right over there. But the crazy cows chased me out, so I guess I'll do a walk and talk on the road. Yesterday's video, I hope I didn't upset people in the sense that they felt hopelessness. They didn't have a plan because of their situation. That wasn't the purpose. The purpose is to be honest with you and to get you thinking right now. And why we have time. And the reason I did that video is because there's nails going into the coffin of the U.S. Another nail was driven in. The United Arab Emirates and India just did an oil deal. It was payable in rupees, and it was for 1 million barrels of crude oil. So they did not have to go through the petrodollar. They did not have to go through the U.S. dollar. They used their own, and they had a transaction made. This is why I'm making these videos, to prepare you for a long-term economic downturn. Right now, everyone needs the US dollar. It is a reserve currency for the world. Some people call it the petrodollar. It's because everyone needs it to conduct business to buy oil. But what is happening slowly is the world has decided they don't want our dollar because we are printing money, causing inflation, and then we export that dollar overseas. We do great. American people do great. The government does great, but the world does not. So this was another nail in the coffin this week. India, United Arab Emirates. Before this, there was another deal, and it was for gold. An Indian buyer bought from the United Arab Emirates, I think it was like 25 kilograms of gold. Also, India is buying oil from Russia, and they're not using US dollars. So as this continues, the demand for dollars will go down. If that happens, interest rates over here are going to skyrocket. And when you're trying to finance $32.7 trillion, every little small tick in the interest rates is billions of dollars on the interest payments. Also, the world is dumping the Treasury bill, the U.S. Treasury. You can go through tons of countries, and they're selling, getting rid of them, not being as exposed to them as much. So this is causing a problem, and that's why the interest rate is ticking up. Also, the U.S. has decided to use the dollar as a weapon. They're sanctioning countries. Every time they sanction a new country, it forces that country to find another means to do business outside the U.S. dollar, which then is another nail in our coffin. So our politicians think, oh, we'll get you. They're also getting the United States people by going to make it harder and harder for us because inflation. Now, let's talk about the BRICS nation. That's Brazil, Russia, China, South America, and Brazil, India. Yes. They're trying to come up with a currency to replace the US dollar. Now, if you individually look at every one of those countries, their dollar is not this strong, vibrant. It's not. But if they back it with gold, it will give it some credibility. If they don't back it with gold, it's going to take a lot longer for them to take over the US dollar, which is good for us. Every day that we are given to prepare for uncertain times. And the uncertain times is economic hardship. That is my biggest concern. And that's why I'm trying to get you to think about, prepare. My life is going to change. My life will not be the same. I don't need 6 months of supplies in the closet for this thing. You're going to need a total change of attitude and a change of how am I going to become a producer? How am I going to take 100% responsibility for every aspect of my life, like the pioneers did. When the pioneers went across this great country, they didn't have a welfare society that, hey, well, you're not working, we'll give you a check, we'll give you some food. They didn't have that. You had to account for everything from water to where you're going to go to the bathroom. What are you going to plant? How are you going to heat your house? How are you going to build a house? That's what I want you to start thinking about. 100% solely responsible for yourself, with no one helping you outside. Now, I urge you, get in a place where you have a community so you can have assistance. And it's sort of funny on a community side. Because of Facebook and the internet, people don't have to be friendly to people because they have friends on Facebook. You don't have to be cordial to your neighbors or people down the street. It doesn't matter. But it does matter, because those are the people you're going to have to rely on. You're going to have to rely on your neighbor. I'm sorry to say that. If you can't rely on your neighbor, your chances of survival drastically fall. Now, some of you are going to say, Dave, you're picking on us people that live in the city. Or no, I'm not. I'm just making sure you understand what is coming. It is going to be a change of your lifestyle. It's going to be a change of everything you know. And this is economics. This is orchestrated by our government. They're the ones that have put us in this place. Now, granted, we have not stood up and said no enough or loud enough. So if yesterday's video was dark, I did not want it to be. I want you to start thinking now, because there is time for you to prepare. Even with this BRICS nation coming online, those countries are jacked up themselves. But if they back it by gold, it will go quicker. If it's not backed by gold, it's going to take longer, and every day gives you the opportunity. The dollar, unless there's some huge, massive event, it's not going to collapse overnight. We might see it over 5 to 10 years as more countries get rid of the dollar. So you have time. You have time to get prepared. And the prepared is, just look at this. You are 100% responsible for every aspect of your life. That's what I want you to start thinking of. You got to become a producer. You have to make something. You can't just be a consumer. You cannot go to your job, get a check, use that check to buy every need. You're going to have to start, chipping away at your needs. Be it food needs, be it clothing needs, be it shelter needs, water, electric. You got to have a plan to take care of yourself. Now, while you're taking care of yourself, if you are in a position where you have good neighbors, it's going to be easier for you, because you can have other people help you, and then you help them. You don't have to be, an expert in every single one of these fields. So I urge you, where you are in real estate, it's location, location, location. You could have the cruddiest house on the best neighborhood, and you're better than having the best house in the worst neighborhood. So I hope yesterday's video didn't scare you, didn't depress you. I hope it motivates you to start thinking, I'm responsible for 100% of everything I need in life. I need to take care of my family, because the economic problems could come at any time, or it could take 5 to 10 years for the dollar to collapse. But the dollar is collapsing. I hope this helps. Another nail in the coffin. United Arab Emirates accepting rupees from India for 1 million barrels of crude oil. Thanks for watching.